Look at, what is that? Oh my God. Wait. I've never seen stuff hanging off a needle like that. Gross. Here is my neighbor's snowblower. It won't start, and the gas has been in it for several years. Whoa, with a smell like that, I wouldn't want to start either. Time for a carb cleaning. Let's go. Hey guys and gals, welcome to Garage Gear. I'm JB, giving you the best tips and tricks to survive life in and out of the garage. Before we get cleaning, if you're feeling the vibe and you want to be part of the tribe, subscribe. I just love digging into these engines. Here we go. First step, popping off the choke lever. Should come off by hand. There it is. 10mm bolts here on the side. Take them both out. One here on the front. Take this out. Another stupid one hidden up here on the side. Thanks, MTD. Take that one out. And out it comes. Now I'm going to take you up here to the throttle lever, and if you notice there's a little cutout right up here, and that's going to allow us to move this lever right into that position, so that way when we slide this whole panel off, it should come right off without having to take this guy off. If we look up here, we have this little stem sticking up from our choke, so as we lift this off, we're going to have to pull up and then off. We go. Off it comes. Now, as we look in the backside, you can see that there is a primer tube and our key shutoff cable. From here, I'm gonna disconnect the primer tube from the back of the faceplate. From here, you just gotta wiggle it off. Take your time, you don't wanna rip it. There it is. And that'll allow me to just hang this guy off to the side. Here's your primer tube. We're just gonna pop it out of that little slot so it hangs off to the side. Next, we're gonna get this cover out of the way. We have a Phillips head screw on this side and one on this side. From here, we're gonna slide this cover right up, right over the stem of the choke lever. My next step here is to remove the old gas. Here's my fuel line, and it's connected right up to my carburetor. There's a little clamp right here. I'm gonna grab onto it with my pliers and get that out of the way. It should do. From here, we're gonna take off the hose right off the carburetor, wiggle it off. Sometimes prying it up with a screwdriver like this can give you a hand. Good. And then from here, drip it right into a container. You want to get every drop out. That is some old gas. Letting her drain right in. By the way, this smells terrible right now. I'm gonna close this up and put that gas away in its tomb for the rest of its days. Thank God. Next up, we got two linkages connecting to the carburetor. We have a thin linkage and a thick linkage. We're gonna take off the thin one first, just unhook it. Leave it off to the side, and we'll unhook the thick one as we take off the carburetor. Next, we have two bolts hooking on this carburetor. We gotta take those off. So this remaining cover here is connected with this tube. We can actually just pull this right off and ease it right off to the side, just like that. We're gonna slide down our primer tube so it'll help us take off our carburetor. Work that guy underneath. And then from here, just slide off the carburetor. We're gonna pull up on our linkage, remove that, and off it comes. Let's get this guy on the workbench and clean out all those jets. Before I get busy cleaning this carburetor, would you mind taking a super quick second to hit that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm? Thank you, I greatly appreciate it. All right, let's give this guy a good hard look. I'm gonna start by gently removing this gasket. There we go. Set that off to the side. Overall, it doesn't look that dirty, but as I look a little closer, that hole could be a little plugged up right there. Let's take the bowl off. Look at all the gas coming out of this thing, by the way. That guy's on there. Well, I got a friend that's not gonna tolerate you. Hey, Mr. Wilton, how are you, buddy? And there we go. Nobody messes with Mr. Wilton. Out comes the bolt. Take this bowl off the bottom. Look at a little bit of jello hiding in there. Bowl seal looks pretty good. Ease that right off. That guy's in really good shape. We're gonna set him aside. Here's our float, and look at this staining on this guy. Wow. That gas really tarnished that. Out comes the pin. Here's our float. Look at, what is that? Oh my God. I've never seen stuff hanging off a needle like that. Gross. I don't even want to know what's going on in this bowl. This guy had to have been the problem. Look inside that hole too. Oh my goodness. It's all gelled up. I wouldn't want to start either. And then deep inside here, we got some jets. We're gonna take these out. Flathead screwdriver. There we go. You gotta take it easy with those jets inside. Sometimes they're made of a softer metal. You can really strip them, so you gotta be careful. Come on, get out of there. Almost. There we go. One jet. Now the emulsion tube is that little golden tube sticking up from the bottom there. I'm gonna take a little 90-degree pick, stick it in. Ah, there it is. Shot right out like a bullet. There's your emulsion tube. Now time to give this stuff a spray down. We're gonna use some carburetor cleaner. Any carburetor cleaner will do. Hose off the outside. Exterior's good. Spray down to the bottom. Next we're gonna spray down the emulsion pipe. Oh yeah, flood it, baby. Now we gotta get down this needle hole. Get this gel out of here. Yep. We're gonna spray it the other way. Yep, that's good. Good flow. That is a lot cleaner, let me tell you. Now there's one more piece that we have to take out, and it's this little throttle adjustment right here on the top. Once we take this out, it's gonna allow us to get this jet out, and that's an important one that we gotta clean. So in order to get this out, what I'm gonna first do is take the tip of this and etch it into the plastic. Just like that, so I know what the top side of this throttle screw looks like. Etch it real good, dig it in, that'll do. All right, I have a little mark there at the top. Also make note of the direction the way this screw faces. Now in order to make sure we put this screw exactly back in the way we found it, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna twist it in, and I'm gonna count my turns so that way I can then put it back in later and then count my turns back out, and it'll be in the exact same spot that it originally was. So here we go. That's 1 full turn, 2 full turns, 3 full turns, that's 4, that's 5, and about 5.5. Now I am human and I do forget things, so I'm gonna write that down, 5 and 1/2 turns. This way I remember for later. Now just back it all the way out and take it right out. Out it comes. Now from here, what I like to do is put my finger on the top of this, and then I'm gonna take a screwdriver and just pop it right out. You don't wanna lose this guy. From here, it's got a tiny little jet at the bottom. We're gonna clean that out. We're also gonna take our carb cleaner and spray right down inside. Look at that. There we go. Clean it right out. Set the carb off to the side. All right, now with the little stuff. Let's clean out this bowl. Wipe her off. Ugh. Oh my God, this guy needed it. And let's have a look at this needle. What is this thing? Ugh. Gross. All right, now you gotta be careful with this needle. This needle is actually held on with a spring as well, and you don't wanna lose that little guy. So I'm gonna leave this on here, but I'm gonna hose it all down. Boing, boing, boing. Listen to that. All right, let's hose her down. Oh, this float's coming out pearly white now. Taking that varnish right off. Hit that needle real good. Check that out. Whiter than a Crest toothpaste commercial. Not bad. Now we're gonna grab the pin. Close that off. Throttle bolt. Our bowl bolt. There was a little gel on this guy. That's all clean now. So next up are the jets. And what I did is I took a wire brush and I just took a needle and pulled it back off of the brush. I'm gonna grab onto this little jet and we're just gonna thread this guy in and out. And this thing barely went in. So that means it's plugged up. I'm gonna wiggle it all around, twist it back and forth, in, out, in, out, in, out. Let's hose her down. Oh yeah, right on through. Same thing, we're gonna take this plastic one. It's got a little metal pinhole here at the top. Feed in your wire, wiggle it all around. That guy's kind of fitting in tight. In and out, in and out, in and out. Might even be able to see the wire going in and out through these little side holes. Grab on, spray it down. And don't forget to spray it all off. And last but not least, our emulsion tube. And this has got lots of little pinholes all up and down on every side. We got to poke them all out. This here is the annoying part because you got to get it in every hole. If you can get it to go all the way through, you're good on both sides. There's another one at the top. Spin it around, do the other side. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, sir. There we go. Grab on and give it a shot. That's coming out of every hole now. Look at that baby sing. Yep, that looks good. Our next task is blow drying this whole thing out. So now we're gonna take our air nozzle, start hitting this whole carb. Up the emulsion tube, down the needle hole, up the gas line here through the top, a little bit shot out of here. Guess what, we're gonna send it right back. This little hole here on this side, all down the middle. Same thing on the other side, all around the bottom. And off the top. Needle and float. I'm gonna put my finger here to keep that spring and needle from popping out. Take our bowl, take our small jet. Good, I can feel the air coming right out the top. Our emulsion tube. Plug the top and just let it come out the side holes. Top jet, bowl bolt, and our pin. Now let's put this bad boy back together. I am going to start by reinserting this top jet, force it all the way down. Oh, so she doesn't want to cooperate, huh? You can see it kind of wants to come back out. And then from here, we're gonna put in my throttle screw. From here, twist her all the way in like we planned. Now the good thing is that looks exactly the way I left it when I pushed it all the way in. So now we're gonna back it out 5 1/2 turns. Glad I wrote that down. There's about my half. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and 5. Right about there. That's good. That looks exactly the way I left it. Good deal. Next up is the emulsion pipe. We're going to stick in this narrow end first, and the fat end is closest to the bottom. Drop her in, and then from here, take our small jet and thread that guy in. Take your screwdriver, gently screw it in, snug it down. Don't over tighten it. Next up, we're going to take our needle and float, reinsert that guy down into its tube. Take your pin, line up your holes, lock it into place. Look at that baby rattle. From here, we're going to take our rubber bowl seal and drop that into place. And then from here, just place your bowl right on top top. Take your bolt, tighten her down, snug it down, and don't forget your gasket. This carb is now done. Let's get it back on the machine. Carburetor is going to slide right back on. I'm going to put it on about halfway. And once I get it into the right position, from here we're going to hook up our first linkage here on the top. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to grab this thin little linkage and hook it up to the small hole on the side. From there, push her on. And then from here, we're going to place our green gasket in the front. From here, I'm going to pull my primer tube around the outside. And then I'm going to reinsert the cover on the front. Bingo. Twist on your nuts, send them into place. Take your gas line, reconnect that. Take your little clip, slide it into place. We're gonna take this top cover, we're gonna drop it over the top and slide it down. Next up, you're gonna reinsert your Phillips screws on each side and send them in gently. You don't wanna send them in too fast, you could strip or break the plastic. That ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna slide my throttle back into the center. And then from here, we're gonna drop our front cover back into place. Put your primer tube back in this little clip right here. And then don't forget to do this. You gotta reconnect your primer tube. And she's on. And then to button this all up, we're gonna take this cover, take this hole, and send it up and over this stem of our choke. Where are you, buddy? I can't find you. And there we go. I'm gonna take my choke knob, reinstall that, so that way this holds the whole cover back in place. That works just fine. Let's reinstall our 2 screws here on the side. Then we got one right here and then one up here. This garage stinks from that bad gas. As we land the plane here, what we're gonna do now is fill up the gas tank with some ethanol-free gas. Small engines love this stuff and always run better with it. Well, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go start this bad boy up. Woo-hoo. Here we go, baby. Here we go. Choke, throttle up. Prime it, and pull it. She's alive. Beautiful. Well, that snowblower runs great now. The gas tank smells a hell of a lot better, and this blower is ready to show winner who's boss. For more cool garage gear content, click or tap the screen right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the garage.